Let me tell you something that most people overlook. Taking care of your heart doesn't always require a gym membership, fancy equipment, or a strict routine. Sometimes it's the simplest habits, done with consistency and awareness, that bring the greatest transformation. Your heart doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for attention. It asks for movement. It asks for care. Your heart doesn't need a gym. It needs consistent care and gentle movement. We often believe that real progress comes only from big efforts, from sweat, equipment, and heavy routines. But the truth is, your heart doesn't measure health by how much weight you lift or how fast you run. It measures it by how consistently you show up for it. Your heart thrives on rhythm, not rush. It doesn't need punishment, it needs presence. The simplest movements, repeated with awareness, can do more for your heart than an hour of intense exercise done without connection. Because the heart listens. It listens to the pace of your breath, the quality of your thoughts, and the kindness in your actions toward your own body. Imagine this every morning. Before you pick up your phone or face the world, you take a few quiet minutes to stretch, to breathe, to move lightly. No pressure, no performance, just gentle care. Your body wakes up slowly, your blood begins to flow, and your heart feels at ease. This is how you tell your body, I am taking care of you. You don't need to prove strength through exhaustion. You show strength through consistency. Small, steady acts of self-care build a foundation far stronger than sporadic bursts of effort ever could. Gentle movement isn't just physical, it's emotional. When you walk, when you stretch, when you take deep breaths, you are teaching your heart to stay calm, to stay steady even when life feels uncertain. Your heartbeat responds to the way you live each day, to your thoughts, your moods, your pace. So, when you move with softness, your heart learns peace. You create balance not only in your body, but in your emotions too. That is why gentle movement is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is how you tell your heart, I am here, and I care. So many people think they have to push hard to see results. But your heart doesn't want to be pushed, it wants to be understood. It needs movement that sustains, not strains. A walk after a meal, a few minutes of slow breathing before bed, simple stretches during your day. These are acts of quiet power. Over time, they regulate your heartbeat, improve circulation, and lower stress without overwhelming your system. What makes them powerful is not the effort, but the regularity. Your heart remembers what you do daily, not what you do once in a while. Consistency is love in motion. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it, even when life feels busy or heavy. Every gentle movement tells your body that it matters, that you value your health enough to nurture it. You don't need a gym to do that. You need a moment of intention, a few deep breaths, a willingness to move. Some days it might be a slow walk. Some days maybe just stretching your arms and feeling your lungs expand. The form doesn't matter as much as the feeling. This is how healing happens. Quietly, patiently, through simple repetition. The heart grows stronger not by intensity but by trust. When you move gently and consistently, your heart learns that it is safe. It begins to relax. Your blood flows smoother. Your energy rises, your mood stabilizes. It's a cycle of calm and vitality that starts with something so small, so ordinary, yet so powerful. The kind of movement that feels good, that brings you back to yourself, is the one your heart understands best. Gentle consistency is the most profound act of self-respect you can offer your body. It's not about changing everything at once, but about showing up again and again until care becomes a part of your rhythm. Because your heart doesn't need perfection, it needs presence. It needs you to slow down, breathe deeply, and move with kindness. Walking mindfully is one of the simplest yet most powerful exercises for heart health. It requires no special space, no expensive tools, no strict timing. Just you, your breath, and your awareness. When you walk with mindfulness, you are not just moving your legs, you are awakening your entire being. You begin to notice the rhythm of your steps, the sound of your heartbeat, and the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Each step becomes a quiet reminder that life moves forward one moment at a time, and your heart follows that rhythm with gratitude. Walking is the most natural form of movement we have, yet we often take it for granted. We rush through it, distracted, thinking about what's next instead of what's now. But when you slow down and walk with intention, everything changes. Your body begins to align with your mind, and your heart starts to relax. The stress that once felt heavy begins to lighten. Your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, and you feel a sense of space opening up within you. That is the power of mindful walking. It transforms something ordinary into something healing. The heart responds beautifully to steady movement. Every step improves blood flow, strengthens your cardiovascular system, and allows oxygen to travel freely through your body. But the true magic lies in the calmness that walking brings to your nervous system. As your body moves gently, your mind begins to quiet down. You release the tension of the day without forcing it away. You begin to listen, not to noise or chaos, but to your own inner rhythm. Your heart feels that peace and mirrors it back to you through steadier beats and calmer energy. When you walk, you can turn it into a small ritual of connection. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Steady, supportive, always there. Notice the air touching your skin, the subtle sounds of life around you. Let every step remind you that you are part of something bigger, something living and breathing. Mindful walking turns movement into meditation. You are not walking to arrive somewhere, you are walking to arrive within yourself. In that state, your heart opens. It begins to feel lighter, freer, more alive. Even science confirms that regular walking improves heart health, reduces stress, and boosts mood. But beyond numbers and studies, there is a deeper truth. Walking heals the heart emotionally. When you walk mindfully, you give yourself space to think, to release, to feel. You let go of the mental noise that drains your energy. Sometimes, answers to the things that trouble you come not when you sit and worry, but when you walk and breathe, because movement clears the clutter inside you and makes room for clarity. Your heart, in return, feels that openness. Mindful walking also teaches patience. The heart does not rush, it beats in steady time. So when you walk with awareness, you align yourself with that same natural rhythm. You learn to slow down and trust that progress comes with persistence, not pressure. You begin to understand that health is not built in a single day, but through countless small steps, each one contributing silently to your strength and peace. You don't need long walks or perfect weather to practice this. Even a few minutes a day, walking slowly, breathing deeply, staying present, can change how your heart feels and functions. The goal is not distance or speed, it's connection. To feel your feet on the earth, your lungs filling with air, and your heartbeat sensing with the world around you. That simple awareness turns walking into a form of self-love. It becomes a conversation between your body and your soul, where every step says, I am alive, I am here, I am taking care of myself. When walking becomes mindful, it stops being just movement. It becomes a form of healing, a silent dialogue with your heart, a practice that strengthens your body while soothing your mind. It reminds you that even in stillness, there is motion, and even in motion, there can be peace. Deep breathing connects your body and emotions, calming your heart and mind. Every breath you take carries more power than you realize. It is the first thing you do when you enter this world, and the last thing you do before you leave it. Yet in between, most people forget to truly breathe. They breathe shallowly, quickly, without awareness, as if they are always running, always chasing, never arriving. But the moment you begin to breathe with intention, everything inside you begins to shift. Your heart slows down, your mind quiets, your body relaxes. You reconnect with yourself in a way that feels simple yet profound. When you breathe deeply, you are not just taking in air, You are inviting life back into your body. Each slow inhale fills you with energy and oxygen, while each long exhale releases tension and stress. It is a rhythm that mirrors the heartbeat, expansion and release, giving and letting go. This is how the heart finds balance. The breath acts like a bridge, linking your physical state to your emotional state. When your breathing is calm, your emotions become calm too. When your breathing is shallow or rushed, your heart feels unsettled, anxious, uneasy. That is why learning to breathe deeply is one of the greatest gifts you can give to your heart. You can practice this anywhere. Sit quietly for a moment, close your eyes, and place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat, steady and alive. Then slowly inhale through your nose, feeling your lungs expand, your ribs widen, your belly rise. Hold that breath gently for a few seconds, and then release it through your mouth, letting your body soften. As you do this, notice how your heartbeat begins to slow, how your mind feels clearer, how a sense of peace begins to spread. This is not magic, it is biology. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for rest, repair, and healing. It tells your heart, you are safe. Many people live in a constant state of pressure, carrying unspoken emotions and hidden worries. The body holds that stress tightly, in the shoulders, the chest, the stomach. But your breath has the power to release it. With every exhale, you can let go of what you no longer need to carry. With every inhale, you invite in calmness, clarity, and strength. The heart feels this release deeply. As the tension leaves, the blood flows more freely, oxygen reaches every cell, and the body begins to restore itself naturally. Breathing is not just a physical act, it is emotional cleansing. It helps you process feelings that words cannot express. When you feel sadness, anxiety, or anger, notice your breath. It often becomes tight and shallow. In that moment, you can choose to slow it down. Take a deep breath, hold it, and then release it with intention. That one small action can shift your entire state of being. It reminds you that you have control over your inner world, even when the outer world feels chaotic. Deep breathing also nurtures mindfulness. It anchors you to the present. Every inhale brings you into now, every exhale releases the past. You stop replaying what went wrong and stop worrying about what comes next. You return to this moment, the only place where peace truly lives. Your heart loves that stillness. It beats more smoothly, more rhythmically, when your breath is calm. Practicing deep breathing every day doesn't require much time. A few minutes in the morning, before your day begins, or before sleep when your mind is crowded, can make a powerful difference. It is the simplest, most accessible form of healing. No equipment, no cost, just awareness. With each deep, mindful breath, you remind your body that you are here, that you are safe, that you are in control of your peace. Your heart listens to your breath. It follows its rhythm. And in that connection, it finds rest. Awareness and gratitude strengthen your heart more than intensity or speed. In a world that constantly pushes you to do more, go faster, and achieve higher, the heart finds its strength in the opposite. In stillness, in awareness, in quiet appreciation. The pace of modern life often teaches people to measure progress by numbers, by calories burned, or by time spent. But the truth is that the heart does not thrive under pressure. It thrives under presence. When you move your body with awareness, you allow every beat of your heart to align with a sense of calm purpose. When you practice gratitude, you release the tension that keeps your heart burdened, and in that release you make room for healing. Awareness begins when you slow down enough to notice what is happening inside you. When you walk, stretch, or breathe, bring your attention fully to the moment. Feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, the air filling your lungs, the strength in your muscles. This simple act of noticing turns ordinary movement into something sacred. It changes how your body responds. The stress hormones begin to lower, your blood vessels relax, and your heartbeat stabilizes. Awareness softens the hard edges of life. It reminds you that you are not just moving through tasks, you are living through moments. Gratitude works in a similar way. When you take time to appreciate what your body does for you, the way your heart beats without pause, the way your lungs expand, the way your legs carry you, you create harmony between your mind and body. Gratitude replaces self-criticism with respect, and respect strengthens the heart. There is an invisible connection between emotional peace and physical health. A heart filled with appreciation beats differently. It beats with lightness. Gratitude quiets anxiety, eases tension, and brings balance to your inner world. You don't need to wait for grand achievements to feel grateful. You can start with the simplest things: the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the softness of your breath, the rhythm of your footsteps. The more you notice, the more your heart begins to open. Every time you pause to say, "Thank you," even silently, you shift your energy. You step out of the noise of comparison and step into peace. That peace is what the heart needs most. It cannot grow strong under constant stress or self-judgment, but it flourishes in an atmosphere of calm awareness. Intensity may build muscle, but awareness builds endurance. It teaches you to listen to your body, to understand its limits, and to move in harmony with it rather than against it. When you exercise or walk with awareness, you become more attuned to your own rhythm. You begin to notice when your heart speeds up and when it needs rest. You develop a relationship with your body that is based on respect instead of demand. This quiet understanding protects your heart more deeply than any intense workout could. Awareness also helps you recognize emotional signals that your heart sends. Sometimes, what feels like physical fatigue is emotional exhaustion. The body speaks through sensations: tightness, heaviness, unease. And when you are aware, you learn to listen. You can respond with kindness instead of ignoring the signs. Taking a break, breathing deeply, or simply acknowledging your feelings becomes an act of care that restores balance to your entire system. When awareness and gratitude come together, they create harmony. You begin to see movement as a form of appreciation, not a punishment or obligation. You walk because your body allows you to. You breathe because life fills your lungs. You rest because your heart deserves peace. Gratitude turns every small action into something meaningful. It transforms ordinary moments into nourishment for your heart. Each day offers opportunities to practice this connection. You can bring awareness into your routine, during your morning walk, while eating, or even while sitting quietly. Feel the life within you, acknowledge it, and give thanks for it. That awareness strengthens your heart in ways that no fast-paced routine ever could. Because a grateful, present heart is a healthy heart, one that beats with strength, rhythm, and quiet joy. Movement releases emotional heaviness and restores inner balance. The body carries what the heart cannot always express. Every worry, every disappointment, every unspoken pain leaves a trace somewhere within you, in your chest, in your shoulders, in the way you breathe. When emotions are not released, they begin to weigh you down, creating tension and fatigue that no amount of rest can fix. Movement becomes the language through which your body speaks what words cannot. It allows energy to flow again, loosening the knots created by stress, heartbreak, or worry. When you move, even gently, you give your emotions permission to shift and your heart the space to breathe again. There is a deep connection between emotional energy and physical rhythm. When you feel anxious or sad, your body naturally tenses up, your shoulders tighten, your breathing shortens, your heartbeat quickens. But when you start to move, walking, stretching, swaying to music, the body begins to unwind. The movement signals to your nervous system that it is safe to let go. Your breath deepens, your posture opens, and your heart finds a slower, steadier beat. What once felt like emotional heaviness begins to transform into release. That is the quiet power of movement. It does not demand, it invites. It teaches the body how to flow again. You do not need to move with intensity for this to happen. Even the simplest gestures, rolling your shoulders, rotating your neck, lifting your arms toward the sky, can shift energy that has been stuck for days or even years. When the body moves, the mind follows. You begin to notice a lightness, not because your problems have disappeared, but because your heart has space to handle them. Movement clears the emotional fog that builds up from overthinking or suppressing feelings. It reminds you that emotions are meant to move through you, not stay trapped inside you. Walking is one of the most powerful forms of emotional release. When your feet meet the ground, step after step, it is as if the earth absorbs what you no longer need to carry. Each step becomes a small letting go. You begin to feel your breath sync with your stride, your heart beating in rhythm with the world around you. The noise inside quiets down, replaced by a calm that feels natural and earned. In that state, clarity returns. You begin to think more clearly, feel more gently, and respond more wisely. Movement brings you back to yourself. There is also something deeply healing about moving with awareness. When you move consciously, paying attention to your body's signals, to how your heart feels in your chest, you reconnect with the present moment. You stop resisting your emotions and start flowing with them. Sometimes, emotions need to be felt through movement rather than analyzed through thought. A few minutes of slow stretching, deep breathing, or dancing freely in your room can release more emotional tension than hours of overthinking ever could. The heart and body are partners in healing. The heart sends signals through feelings, and the body responds through motion. When both are in harmony, you experience balance, not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting against yourself. Movement becomes a form of emotional honesty. It allows you to meet your feelings without fear, to let them rise and to let them go. That natural flow of energy keeps your heart from hardening under the weight of emotion. Restoring balance through movement is not about escaping pain. It is about transforming it. The same energy that once felt heavy becomes lighter when it moves. You learn that you can carry emotions without being crushed by them. You discover that your body knows how to heal if you give it permission. Each stretch, each breath, each step tells your heart, it's okay to release. And in that release, balance slowly returns. When you make movement a daily habit, it becomes a silent form of therapy. You begin to trust your body's wisdom and your heart's resilience. You realize that healing does not always require words or explanations. Sometimes it simply requires motion. Movement gives the heart its rhythm back, helping it let go of what no longer serves it and making room for clarity and quiet strength. Caring for your heart daily builds not just physical strength, but emotional peace. The heart is more than a muscle that pumps blood. It is the center of your emotional and energetic being. Every thought you think, every feeling you hold, and every action you take affects its rhythm. Caring for your heart each day is not about following complicated routines or strict rules. It is about creating moments of connection, stillness, and awareness that remind your heart it is supported. When you care for it consistently, you teach it to trust you, to rest, to beat with steadiness instead of strain. Daily care for your heart begins with presence. In a world that constantly pulls your attention in 1,000 directions, the most powerful thing you can offer your heart is your focus. When you eat, eat with mindfulness. When you walk, feel your feet touching the ground. When you breathe, notice the air moving through you. This simple awareness nourishes your heart more deeply than anything else. Because stress, distraction, and emotional neglect are what tire the heart most. Attention, gratitude, and calm are what heal it. Physical care is one part of the process, but emotional care is equally important. The heart holds emotions long after the mind has moved on. Unhealed sadness, unresolved anger, or quiet worry all settle in the heart's space, creating weight that cannot be measured, but can always be felt. Taking care of your heart means checking in with your emotions, giving yourself permission to feel without judgment. It means speaking kindly to yourself when you fall short and forgiving yourself when you have carried too much for too long. This emotional softness is not weakness. It is how the heart regains its natural rhythm. A daily heart care practice can be as simple as breathing deeply for a few minutes, stretching your body, or taking a short walk outside. These moments signal to your heart that it is safe, that it can relax. You can place your hand over your chest and feel your heartbeat, reminding yourself that this rhythm is the foundation of your life. In that simple act, you strengthen the connection between your body and your awareness. You remind your heart that you are listening. Caring for your heart also means creating peace in your environment. Noise, conflict, and emotional chaos all affect how your heart feels. The body reacts to every situation, and the heart often responds first. Protect your peace as if it were part of your health, because it is. Surround yourself with calm spaces, soothing sounds, gentle routines. Choose people who bring ease rather than tension. The heart is sensitive. It thrives in environments where it feels safe and appreciated. Food, rest, and thought also play a powerful role in heart care. Nourish your body with simple, balanced meals. Drink enough water. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. These small habits communicate to your heart that you value its work, that you are giving it what it needs to keep you alive and well. But beyond the physical, remember that thoughts feed the heart too. Worry, resentment, and fear are heavy meals that make the heart tired. Gratitude, patience, and love are light, nourishing energies that help it stay strong. Each day is an opportunity to choose peace over pressure, awareness over autopilot. You don't need perfection to care for your heart. You only need consistency. The small things you do daily become the rhythm your heart lives by. When you take time to move gently, breathe fully, and rest deeply, your heart learns balance. It begins to beat in harmony with your inner peace, rather than your outer stress. This kind of care transforms not just your physical health, but your emotional landscape. You begin to feel calmer, lighter, more centered. You stop reacting to life and start responding to it. You learn to carry yourself with softness, to speak to yourself with compassion, to handle life's noise without letting it shake your core. The heart becomes your guide, steady and open, reminding you that true strength is quiet and consistent. Caring for it daily turns that strength into peace that you can feel in every breath, every beat, every moment of your life. At the end of it all, taking care of your heart is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters with awareness. It's about slowing down enough to listen to your body, to honor your emotions, and to move with intention. Your heart doesn't ask for perfection, only presence. It doesn't need grand efforts, only gentle consistency. When you walk mindfully, breathe deeply, live with gratitude, and move with purpose, you are not just strengthening a muscle. You are nurturing your peace. Every small act of care becomes a promise you make to yourself, that you will protect your energy, your calm, your rhythm. And in keeping that promise, you discover the quiet truth that a healthy heart is not only the key to a longer life. It is the foundation of a softer, lighter, and more beautiful way of living. In the end, caring for your heart is a daily act of love, not through intensity, but through awareness. It's about showing up for yourself in simple ways, walking with presence, breathing with calm, moving with gratitude, and choosing peace over pressure. When you honor your heart gently, it begins to trust you. It learns to beat in rhythm with balance instead of stress. True strength is not in how fast you go, but in how steadily you care. Every mindful step, every deep breath, every quiet moment of appreciation builds both health and harmony. And in that space of gentle consistency, your heart becomes stronger, your mind becomes calmer, and your life begins to flow with quiet, lasting peace.